You won't believe what really happened behind the scenes of one of the most beloved family shows of all time. Everyone thought she had the perfect job. Karen Grassle was the heart of Little House on the Prairie. Ma, the calm in the storm. The mother we all wished we had. Graceful, patient, endlessly kind. But while she was helping families hold it together on screen, off screen, she was falling apart. And no one knew. Not the fans, not the media, not even her co-stars. For decades, she kept it buried, until now. At 82, Karen finally broke her silence. And the truth? It's a lot messier than any script. Back in the 70s, when Little House first hit the air, it looked like a dream gig. Warm stories, heartfelt moments, a cast that seemed tight-knit. And at the center of it all was Michael Landon, the charming, handsome dad America couldn't get enough of. But here's the twist. He wasn't just the lead. He ran the whole show, wrote it, directed it, produced it. He called every single shot. And for Karen, that was the beginning of a very long, very painful lesson. At first, things were good, professional, respectful. But when the show blew up in popularity, Karen realized something weird. Her paycheck didn't. While Michael was pulling in big contracts and more creative power, Karen stayed stuck in her original deal. She played a key role. Fans loved her. But her salary didn't reflect that. So she did what anyone would do. She asked for a raise. That's when everything changed. Michael didn't yell. He didn't slam doors. He just shifted. Quietly. Strategically. Karen says scenes that once centered on her started getting trimmed. Important emotional moments were either cut or rewritten. Her screen time? Shrinking. And it wasn't just the scripts, it was the tone on set too. Michael started cracking jokes at her expense. Crude, inappropriate ones. Sometimes right before a romantic scene. Sometimes in front of the whole crew. Karen? She smiled through it all. Because what else could she do? Back then, speaking up could kill your career. Especially for a woman over 30 in Hollywood. She'd worked so hard to get that role. She didn't want to throw it all away by being labeled difficult. So, she stayed. She delivered her lines. And she kept quiet. But that silence had a cost. Karen says it chipped away at her confidence, her dignity, her peace of mind. She was playing the strong, supportive mother every week, while silently enduring comments and choices that made her feel small. And she carried that pain for decades. She never went public, never trashed Landon in interviews. In fact, she praised him, just like everyone else, because that's what people expected. That was the image. Happy set, perfect show, wonderful man at the helm. No one questioned it, until she did. When she turned 80, something shifted. Karen began writing her memoir, not to start drama, but to tell her story. All of it. And in doing so, she realized she couldn't keep leaving out the part that hurt the most. How she was treated on that set, and how long she stayed silent. There's one moment she describes that really hits hard. During a major contract negotiation, she asked, again, for fair pay. And not long after, during a scripted kiss between Charles and Caroline, Landon leaned in a way that felt off, forced, almost mocking. Not how they rehearsed it. Karen said it felt like a message, a warning. She didn't say anything. She just kept acting. But inside, she knew exactly what was happening. The power imbalance wasn't just real, it was relentless. Landon, by then, had a reputation. Charming, yes, but also moody, sharp-tempered, and in total control. Karen wasn't the only one who noticed. Others from the cast would later say they saw the tension. Some even admitted they were afraid to speak up. The jokes, the jabs, the emotional manipulation, it was all part of the environment. Just no one talked about it. And here's where it gets even more unexpected. Years later, when Michael was diagnosed with cancer, Karen didn't feel satisfaction. She felt sadness. Because for all the pain, they'd shared something meaningful. Nearly a decade of work, countless scenes, a legacy that shaped both their lives. So, she wrote him a letter. It wasn't angry. It wasn't a list of grievances. She thanked him for the opportunity, for believing in her enough to cast her, for giving her the platform to reach so many people, even if it came with a heavy price. And she forgave him. She never expected a response, but word got back to her. He read it, and he cried. That was enough for her. Not closure, exactly, but peace. And still, she kept that moment private for years, only revealing it in her memoir. Not to make herself look good, but to finish the story on her terms. After the book came out, something remarkable happened. People believed her. They supported her. Even some former cast members quietly shared their own stories. Not all of them had the same experience, but a pattern began to emerge. The wholesome image? It had cracks. Of course, not everyone was kind. Some accused Karen of trying to tear down a beloved figure. But the people who really understood, especially women who'd lived through similar work environments, knew exactly what she meant. Karen didn't call Landon a monster. She described him as complicated, talented, yes, but also deeply flawed, and she didn't erase his legacy. She just added her voice to it. She waited a lifetime to speak, and when she finally did, she did it with honesty, humility, and grace, just like Ma. But this time, she wasn't acting. Her story lit a spark, not just in Hollywood, but everywhere. A reminder that even the most adored stars can cause pain. That sometimes the strongest people are the ones who endured in silence. And that it's never too late to tell your truth. So, if this story hit you like it hit me, stick around. There's more where that came from. Hit that like button, subscribe for the real stories behind the legends, and don't forget, sometimes the quietest voices are the ones we need to hear the most. Ask ChatGPT.